the passage of a vital aid into Gaza, including assistance from the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, also known as the UNRWA. The ICJ President Yuji Iwasawa has stated that Israel must agree to and support relief efforts provided by the United Nations and its agencies. The court also dismissed Israel's allegations that the UNRWA staff were involved with Hamas, which led to Israel to ban the agency from operations on its soil after the October 7th attacks of 2023. The ICJ also emphasized that Israel must ensure the basic needs of the Gaza population, providing everything necessary for their survival. Let's listen in to what the ICJ President Yuji Iwasawa had to say.
As long as the population remains inadequately supplied and Israel is not itself operating a system of humanitarian support that is in accordance with its obligations under international humanitarian law, Israel is obliged under Article 59 to agree to and facilitate relief schemes provided by third states or impartial humanitarian organizations such as the International Committee of the Red Cross. Israel alleged that UNRWA has been infiltrated by Hamas and other terrorist organizations, and that UNRWA employees took an active part in carrying out the attacks of 7 October 2020. As an occupying power, Israel is obliged to ensure the basic needs of the local population, including the supplies essential for their survival.
Now, staying in the region, in a press briefing, an Israeli government spokesperson, Sosh Bedrosian, has responded to allegations that the bodies of Palestinian detainees returned in the exchange for deceased Israeli hostages showed signs of abuse. The Bedrosian firmly denied the claim, stating that Israel operates in full accordance with the international laws. Let's listen in to what she had to say.
What I can tell you is that Israel, of course, adheres to all international law when it comes to any actions inside of the Gaza Strip. These types of reports that come out, Peter, is just more evidence and more efforts to demonize Israel, as so many media outlets continue to do on a daily basis. If you're going to report on something like this, you should certainly also report on the torture, the abuse, the starvation our hostages had to endure for 2 years. 20 of our released living hostages are telling their stories. I really hope that if you're reporting on this, you're also reporting on our hostages who are now starting their pathway to rehabilitation after being locked up in cages, chains, and like I said, nearly being starved to death. And also, you should be reporting on what Hamas is doing to their own people. These horrific videos continue to pour out of the Gaza Strip of men being blindfolded, being beaten in the center of these cities by bats. It's horrific to see, and hopefully all media outlets like yourself are reporting on that violence as well.
Now, staying in the Middle East, Israel's parliament has given approval to a law that will apply Israeli law to the occupied West Bank. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party did not support the legislation, which has put forth by lawmakers outside his ruling coalition and passed by a vote of 25 out of the total 120 lawmakers. Some members in Netanyahu's coalition voted in favor of the bill. Now let's listen into what the deputy spokesperson for the Knesset, Moshe Solomon, had to say.
להלן תוצאות ההצבעה 25 בעד 24 נגד. אני קובע כי הצעת חוק החלת הריבונות של מדינת ישראל בחבלי יהודה והשומרון תשפ"ה 2025 של חבר הכנסת אבי מעוז אושרה בקריאה הטרומית ותעבור לדיון בוועדת החוץ והביטחון לצורך הכנתה לקריאה הראשונה.
Now moving on to Iran, it has stated that it will not return to negotiate with the United States unless Washington drops what it calls unreasonable demands. The announcement is made by the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and comes after 5 rounds of indirect nuclear talks which ended in July this year, following a 12-day airstrike war between Israel, the US and Iran. Iran's government spokesperson also revealed that the United States officials declined to attend a meeting proposed by Iran during the United Nations General Assembly. Despite the stalled talks, Iran has reiterated its commitment to diplomacy. Let's listen in.
ما با آقای ویتکاف از به طریق واسطه ها تماس‌هایی رو برقرار می‌کنند، پیام‌هایی رو می‌فرستند. موضوع ما روشن هست. جمهوری اسلامی ایران البته که اهل صلح هست، اهل دیپلماسی هست. ما نشون دادیم همواره که پایبند به دیپلماسی و راه حل مسالمت‌آمیز بودیم، ولی این به معنی گذشتن از حقوق مردم ایران نیست. قبول بکنن که بر اساس منافع متقابل، بر اساس احترام متقابل از موضع برابر وارد مذاکراتی بشن که هدفش یافتن راه حل‌های دیپلماتیک و مسالمت‌آمیز هست برای مشکلاتی که وجود داره. اگر بخواهند که مسیرهای دیگر امتحان بکنن، قبلا هم کردن، نتیجه نگرفتن. اگر بخواهند زورگویی و زیاده خواهی بکنن، از این قبلا هم امتحان کردن و نتیجه.
Now moving our focus to Norway, in Oslo, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has thanked European countries for their support and called on European leaders to continue aiding Ukraine. Zelensky made these comments in a briefing with Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store, and he has also stressed the need for ongoing military assistance, particularly to defend against Russian attacks. Meanwhile, the Norwegian Prime Minister also announced a new package of support for Ukraine, which includes $150 million to help them. They have also included purchase of gas for the winter season. He also highlighted Norway's commitment to strengthening air defense capabilities and supporting Ukrainian industries to meet the country's defense needs. The efforts are expected to gain parliamentary approval. Now let's listen in to what Zelensky and Jonas Gahr Store had to say.
Thankful for your support, and we spoke about continuation in 2026. This is crucial for us. Russia is not stopping, and that's why we have to do it together, all of us, European partners, together with the United States, and pressure on Putin. We're very thankful to you, people of Norway, saving the lives of our people. And this is really very important because Russia attacks us each day. Of course, we innovate, and of course, we defend with air defense and with helicopters, with F-16s, a lot of different things, but never enough. We are thankful for your support, and we spoke about continuation in 2026. This is crucial for us. Russia is not stopping, and that's why we have to do it together, all of us, European partners, together with the United States, and pressure on Putin.
Expect that support for Ukraine will be broadly accepted, and we are planning to use that support to follow up our military aid to Ukraine according to Ukraine's needs. It means to defend against drones, to produce Ukraine's own material in Ukraine's own industry, the constant theme of strengthening air defense capabilities, not only by providing more known air defense, but also developing new methods, cheaper methods, more effective methods.
Now, further developments from the Russia-Ukraine war. Overnight attack on October 22nd has left in a 5-story residential building in Yusakuva, Donetsk region was damaged following what a Russian-installed authorities described as an overnight Ukrainian airstrike. The building's landing particularly collapsed, though no casualties were reported. Yugoslav, located 21 kilometers from northeast of Donetsk, has an estimated population of 34,000 and at the start of 2022. Local emergency services responded to the incident. Now focusing on Asia, mainly in Japan, Sanae Takaichi has taken office on Tuesday, October the 21st as Japan's first female prime minister. But her cabinet remains surprisingly male-dominated, and her socially conservative record has left many women ambivalent in the country that still has lags in gender equality. Takaichi has appointed only 2 female ministers in a 19-member cabinet, matching her predecessors and falling short of her previously announced plan to ensure women's representation in the top posts not particularly lower than Nordic countries. Female representatives in Japanese cabinets have never topped 30%, which women comprise much bigger portions of the Nordic cabinets, ranging from Denmark's 36% to Finland's 61%. Let's listen in to what Sanae Takaichi, Mindro Kindra, and a university professor have to say.
一部高市内閣になったら女性閣僚が6人になるとかいうニュースが流れておりましたが、当初より申し上げております通りですね、私はあくまでも機会平等、チャンスの平等、これを大事にしています。それから全員参加、全世代総力結集、この考えで組閣を行いました。
女性の登用数が過去最多とならなかったことへの見解になりますが、今回の人事は適材適所で行ったところであり、いずれにせよ政治分野における男女共同参画は重要であり、政府においては各政党に対し、男女の候補者の数にかかる目標の設定等について要請を行っているほか、各国や各政党の取り組みに関する情報提供等の取り組みを行っているところであり、引き続き取り組みを進めてまいります。
上智はでも女子学生さんも多いしですよね。だからそんなにあれでしょ、なんか私が聞くめちゃめちゃ有名な政治学系のフェミニストの方が高市首相。
Now shifting our focus to the where British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper welcomed leaders from the Western Balkans and the European Union as they arrived in central London to attend the Western Balkans Summit. The summit aims to strengthen political, economic and security cooperation between the United Kingdom, the European Union and the Western Balkan countries. Now Starmer and Cooper personally greeted the arriving delegates, emphasizing the importance of stability and regional partnership. The meeting provides a platform for discussions on key issues such as trade, investment, infrastructure development, and democratic reforms in the Western Balkans. Both leaders stressed the United Kingdom's commitment to supporting the region's European integration efforts, peace and coexistence, and stronger ties with the European partners. The summit also serves as an opportunity for leaders to address security challenges and encourage economic growth cooperation amid a complex geopolitical landscape. Now moving on, Britain's competitors watchdog announced on Wednesday that Apple and Google will face stricter regulations of their mobile platform services under measures targeting tech giants, the competition and market authorities placed the companies under strategic market status after a 9-month investigation. Both Apple and Google criticized the designation, with Google calling it disappointing and quote-unquote disappropriate. They have also called it unwarranted. Now moving on to France, where the Louvre, updates from the Louvre. Outside the Louvre Museum, a crowd of curious onlookers have gathered to witness the window used by thieves in the spectacular burglary that has shocked France and the world. Many visitors, fascinated by the details of the investigators and brazen nature of the heist, stopped to take photos of the exact spot where the intruders climbed into the gallery. The incident has sparked intense political debate and triggered a political storm, with questions being raised about the security measures in place to protect the museum's prized collections. Authorities have also promised to review and strengthen protections, but the scene outside the Louvre remains reflects both public curiosity and concern about how a high-profile theft could occur in one of the world's most famous cultural institutions. The incident has also highlighted vulnerabilities and thrown a spotlight on the challenges of safeguarding cultural treasures like these. Let's listen in to what some Paris residents and tourists have to say.
Le passage, etc. Donc, en fait, c'est tellement fou que ça en devient presque réel. En fait, on se dit plus gros, plus ça passe. Donc, c'est assez impressionnant. J'ai l'impression de vivre l'histoire presque. Donc, ça de mon côté, c'est un peu ouf. Bon, là, je me dis, c'est quand même sécurisé maintenant. Donc, ça devrait plus se reproduire. Et même pour tout vous dire, en passant, je me suis dit, mais en fait, ils pourraient carrément réessayer. Ce serait encore plus gros que ça passerait peut-être. Donc voilà ce que je me suis dit. Et puis voilà, je l'ai vu, puis maintenant je repars. C'est tout.
Well, I really want to see where they came in to steal the jewelry. We're from the Netherlands and we really want to go to the Louvre, but it's really busy right now because it was closed for a few days. So we're not going to see the Mona Lisa and then we see the window where they came in.
Ich denke, dass das sehr, sehr einfach war, da einzusteigen und dass die Sicherheitsmaßnahmen überhaupt nicht gegeben waren und dass der französische Nationalstolz jetzt total gekränkt ist, weil die ganze Welt über Frankreich lacht.
Alors moi je me balade souvent dans Paris, je suis assez curieux, j'ai une mère architecte donc elle me faisait voir les façades d'immeubles et je suis venu voir cette fenêtre parce que c'est vrai que d'entendre parler d'un casse, c'est quelque chose d'assez, c'est un suspense, il y a une intrigue derrière ça. Donc voilà.
Now moving on, a man has been shot and injured for supporting Serbian President Alexander Vučić outside the parliament building in Belgrade, where anti-government protests have been ongoing. The incident occurred in a park between the parliament and Vučić's office, where Vučić supporters have stepped up tents to block protesters. Suspect Vladin Andrejkov allegedly fired shots at government supporters. Now Milan Bolkanev, where he peered into the tent, and the shooting comes amid continued unrest sparked by the deadly collapse of a train station awning in Novo Sad last December. President Vučić has called the shooting an act of terrorism. Let's listen in.
Ispred Doma Narodne skupštine Republike Srbije Anđelković Vladan, rođen 1955. godine u Beogradu sa prijavljenim prebivalištem na opštini Stari grad. Izvršio je, to je moja politička i kao rekao bih vrlo dobrog pravnika ocena, užasan teroristički napad na druga lica i tuđu imovinu, izazvao je opštu opasnost, a naravno konačnu pravnu formulaciju i kvalifikaciju dela daće nadležno tužilaštvo.
Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson has said that Sweden has signed a letter to intend to export up to 150 of its domestically produced Gripen fighter jets to Ukraine. Following a meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the two leaders met for talks in Linköping, southern Sweden, and have visited aerospace and defense company Saab. the maker of the JAS 39 Gripen fighter, the Global Eye surveillance aircraft, missile systems and anti-tank infantry weapons and other equipment. Christensen has stated that the two countries have signed a long-term cooperation agreement over air defenses that included the possibility of exporting 100 to 150 newly produced Gripen E-fighter jets. Now moving on to Uganda, where a tragic bus crash has happened and has claimed the lives of 46 people after a head-on collision between two buses on the Kampala-Gulu highway in Dongo district just after midnight on Wednesday. The initial death toll was reported as 63, but later revised to 46 after some victims were found to be unconscious, not dead. Investigators indicate that the crash occurred as the two buses coming from opposite directions attempted to overtake a lorry and a SUV. President Yoweri Museveni has sent his condolences to the victims while campaigning for his January general elections near the site of the accident. Now, staying in the same continent, Africa, there are 40 migrants from sub-Saharan Africa which were found dead on Wednesday following a shipwreck off the coast of Tunisia, while 30 others were rescued. A judicial spokesperson has confirmed this. Initial investigations indicate that 70 people were on board the vessel, according to Walid Chibatri, spokesperson for the Public Prosecutor's Office in Mahadia. 40 bodies, included infants, were recovered and 30 were prosecuted, he added, saying that they were all from the countries in sub-Saharan Africa. The local authorities are now investigating the circumstances of the shipwreck.